All right. This will be the trading recap for Thursday, January 25th. Uh, so starting off looking at the plan going in, posted at 9:13. Um, Said yesterday when current all-time high was put in, the market retraced back to old res and bounced. In the pre-market, the 4900 area was consolidated around before 8:30 news pushed price higher, leaving behind some structural demand at 4904 through 4895. And as far as the drop from yesterday, there was some supply at 4924 and 4927. All right, so that's supply that came in at those levels, and then I have demand down here from this news, and this is called structured demand because it doesn't fit my criteria for um, an actual zone labeled as a 1 or 2 hour based on the macro time frame because there was no time frame that fit it. However, I know I can tell just based on the structure that there was very aggressive buying out of here, and given that there was this consolidation period before I mark this as demand. So the first two levels I'm watching are just rejections here or bounces there. Uptrend continuation on key level bounce. That's what I'm talking about here. Supply rejection. Looking for rejections here. And this is also kind of a key level where that new demand came in because the previous all-time high from a few days ago was at 4,900. You can see it right there when that was the high. And then also just a whole psych number like that is going to be key. But the main reason for having that marked was that consolidation, then explosion or really aggressive price besting on the 15 or 5 minute. All right. Going into this session, should have had this at 9:30. My bad. Bro. Okay, 9:30. All right, so you can see on my intraday tab, this is where I type my commentary. At 10, I said the market was in the 10-point range. So yeah, pretty much, where's 10? Here's 10. Pretty much even after 10, the market was really tight in this little range, and I was going to get ready to get off around 10:30, just due to the fact that it didn't look like there was much action going on. But then you can see at 10:21, I marked that we were entering the supply location I was watching, and I said this could be an area to short based on my plan. And then look at 10:26, I say if buyers fail at the high again, I might put some risk on. So that means I'm starting to see some buyers failing at the highs. Yeah, I'll show this better on the journaling section. But I noticed when price moved into the zone at 9:26, that buyers started failing at these highs. Price moved into the supply zone and started slowing. So what this looks like on the tape was here's that initial push into the supply zone, and aggressive selling came in right away. I like that. And then on these following pushes up into supply, buyers start failing. See at 10:26, that's when I said buyers fell again, I might get in. And they started buying here, or failing there, and I got in at, I want to be sure on the time, 10:31. So selling started getting aggressive, and I got in. Super aggressive selling on this trade. It happened within 5 minutes down to my target. I didn't have much time to think. I was kind of targeting like a 4,912 low of daybreak. But with it happening so quickly, I didn't feel like it was necessary to target a move lower. I was fine getting over 2R on this, and I ended up getting 8.5 points, and I did actually try to move my limit, my stop loss to 10 points, which would have been right at that 12 target right here. But by the time I went to place that, it was already moving back up. So my original stop was taken, 8.5 points, 2.43 R, not a bad trade right there. Got this nice rejection, was patient all morning, avoided all this chop. Here's the market open at 9:30, avoided all this chop, waited until here, started seeing some entry confirmation, started saying how I was seeing some things that might cause me to enter, and then here I entered when I saw complete validation, and I was out by there. So then price again rejected when it retested later, right here on the 5-minute. This would have been a nice initial supply setup, intraday supply setup, because we proved there was supply there, retested and rejected. I was at the gym at this point though. I was also at the gym when this demand zone that we were also watching started getting hit, and I noticed that on the first attempt it had a nice little rally proving that there were still buyers here. And then I got home from the gym around this time when price was rallying again, and I was interested in looking for any entry down kind of in this level, this 04 through 03 level, just because that's where price was starting to find a floor. And this low of day was tested 3 or 4 times, 5 times actually, this little area. So when price came and retested and started breaking and broke through that low of day, is when I ended up getting a setup to get long. So when this 03 area, okay, so this is the 03 area. It broke with aggressive selling, but then just below, here's that aggressive selling coming in. It starts to slow, and there's a lack of activity below this level, and then I start to see aggressive buying come in. So this was that old low of day where it was tested 4 or 5 times. It breaks, and I start to see a lack of activity down here with aggressive buying, and I get in. And shortly after, more aggressive selling comes in, invalidates my thesis and breaks a new low. But at the time when I entered, it looked good. I had a good thesis, and I took the trade. I put risk on. So now we're moving kind of lower into this demand zone, and I just want to, this is what I was looking at this whole time we were in demand. I saw we were moving into this level where this aggressive selling, or buying I should say, happened this morning, and I was watching what the tape did as we got to this level. So just from the candlestick structure, you can see that price moved aggressively lower and then started to slow a little bit, started to chop in that zone. And when it started to chop, I saw there was aggressive selling into this level that started to slow, and then buying is starting to come in. And at that point, I'm fine taking this with another really small risk on the trade, 2.5 points. And I got a little bit of run up before we failed it, 901, and then stopped out. So on those 2 entries, I lost 5 points, which is just above half of what I made on that short earlier in the day. Or just a little bit above half, I should say. Okay, then after stopping out on that one right here, I'm still watching this because of the tape, and my thesis is still not invalid. We're still right at this 4,900 area, this previous all-time high, in that demand where we saw this really aggressive buying earlier. And I've noticed aggressive selling start to slow and buying come in, just unable to break through this level. So this is a little bit of a different entry. I'll get to that in a minute. But here's that buying from earlier, that third trade we took, and I accidentally flipped these 2 labels. That's what those blue arrows are indicating. So this is supposed to say aggressive buying failing at 901. This is supposed to say new low with aggressive selling failed. So when I stopped out of that last trade, the new low was made by, 87.75, exactly 1 point. With some decently aggressive selling, however, it failed and didn't get any reward or continuation below. And then buying started coming in, and I took this trade with the caveat that I needed to see this level break really quick, the 901, and it did within 2 minutes of being in the trade, and then we retested that level, retested that level a few times and held, eventually moving up to the target. So yeah, that was the entry. Now going into how the trade was managed, when it was pulling back all those times. Oh, this is supposed to be in here. When it was pulling back all those times, the DOM was really key for me to watch different levels. So the first level was this 03.5 through 2.75, where I had a large negative and a large positive delta, and that was kind of right in this range. And it was key for me to stay above it in this trade, and we luckily did. And that's where this final buy push into my target kind of originated from. And then two other levels I was watching was this 07.5 heavy negative delta, where this rejection first came in, so that was kind of on watch. And then the third was just this heavy positive delta at 4.910. I thought if we rejected there, buyers might get trapped. And that was also a level where I thought if we could hold above, we could rocket into the overall target of supply. So I should say that on this trade I was targeting first the 410 break right here, then the 415 break, and then if that happened, supply. Although I didn't hold for any of those, because as we started rejecting, or so when we finally made it up to this 410 level, price started rejecting, and I was up 10 points at that point, and I was fine to just cut the trade. Even though I knew that breaking this level could be a big rally, could mean a big rally, I wanted to get out. I had made back those 2 losses plus more that I had just taken, plus that win earlier in the day. But yeah, as you can see, we ended up rallying all the way into supply past this target. At both of those targets, we didn't just break and run. So you can see we got to this, started consolidating, broke to the next one, consolidated between those two. And then kind of when we broke this 15 level towards the end of the day, we got a nice aggressive pop. But overall, a pretty good trading day. Look at the stats. 4 trades, 2 and 2, just over 4R, nearly 4.5, 13 points. Here's the trading view just to validate it. Here's that morning short. Here's those 2 attempts, and then here's that 3rd attempt long. You can see I paper handed it. All right.